It has come to my attention that Gyutaro in-game has some moves that I predicted in a video over 8 months ago. I was doing moveset predictions for different characters, and this was before a season pass was even announced. We didn't know we were gonna get these characters. Now, this is all I've seen of the video so far.
For his skills, we have a boomerang attack, an attack flurry with rampant arc rampage, and a reversal explosion out of desperation. His demon skills would both poison the enemy on hit, those being a combo finisher with rotating circular slashes and a projectile that can track opponents' dodges upon a second activation.
Bro, we used to do this little summary at the end of the video, so when I heard that the moveset was similar, that's immediately where I went to see if people were right. And it does sound pretty similar. So we're gonna watch the whole thing and see if they stole my moveset or not.
Gyutaro is a fast character, often attacking while advancing himself with quick but very wide slashes.
Yeah, his attacks are insane in the game actually. They are quick, they are wide, they have the range. So far, we're 1 for 1.
Now, if we were to be super loyal to the show, every time Gyutaro lands an attack, he would poison you. But that would be a bit broken, so we're gonna have to save the poison for some of his special moves.
Okay, first big difference. They didn't save the poison for some of his special moves. They put the poison on all of his special moves. This is something that I 100% did not predict.
Gyutaro would fight with melee attacks when you mash the attack button, but these would be forward advancing moves capable of catching opponents from afar.
Yes, they are.
Think something like Akaza sliding through his attack combo or the range on that first Nezuko attack. Gyutaro would attack while running at the opponent with some quick, simple slashes, transitioning into a faster flurry of attacks by the third attack.
Okay, he doesn't really do a flurry of attacks. I mean, the third attack is like 2 hits with both blades, so maybe it's a bit more than 2, but I wouldn't really classify that as a flurry. So that's our first miss right here.
If you keep mashing after the 3 attacks, we've got the neutral finisher, where I would give him this attack/projectile mix. It doesn't really work as a projectile as Gyutaro moves forward and attacks you, but the demon art does come out of his sides, so it's kind of a hybrid, almost like the projectile is there just to make the attack look cooler.
Okay, I'm showing the tilt demon skill, but I'm saying it's just his neutral attack finisher, but I'm also saying there's no projectile there.
What the hell am I saying?
Tilting the stick up would give you a launcher, and I'm thinking it would be an uppercut move with a scythe. Perhaps a reference to the time he stabbed Inosuke from the back.
It's actually hard to say whether or not that is the case. It's kind of a generic uppercut type move. Maybe it is a reference, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna put a question mark on this one. Down combo.
And then tilting the stick down would give you this, a very simple slash with a scythe, where Gyutaro would jump up in the air, hit you from above, knocking you down to the ground.
That's exactly what happens. That said, the screenshot I used, it seems like he's attacking with only one scythe, and I believe in the game he attacks with both. So not exactly the same, but the idea is there.
Now there is one more finisher you can do in Demon Slayer, and that's the one where if you keep mashing the button even further and your character is boosted, you get a cinematic attack. For Gyutaro, it would be this move where he seamlessly transitions from melee attacks into a ranged attack, and even the camera angle on this one is cinematic as hell.
That's not what happens.
For his jumping dive attack, we have this, which is exactly what it does in the show. He attacks while diving, so it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, okay, I don't think they had a lot of dive attacks to pull from in the show, but yeah, it's a dive. It's pretty straightforward. There's not much to it. I think in the skills, this video is gonna get a lot more interesting.
For his strong attack, after charging it, it would be a simple uppercut stab. Because
it is not an uppercut stab. It is definitely not an uppercut.
We gotta fit in a reference to Gyutaro stabbing Tanjiro in the mouth. And I can't think of a better place to put it. A single strong attack is usually something—
Actually, the strong attack is 2 hits. And the second one might be that reference to when he stabs Tanjiro in the mouth.
And to wrap up his normal moves, let's talk about his grab. I think we could show Gyutaro's more confident side on this one, playing with his victims. It would start with Gyutaro grabbing their opponent by the head and then giving them a little slap on the head, followed by a real kick to resume the fight.
That's not what happens at all.
Starting with his regular skill though, this is yet another demon that has projectiles, those being the very sights he uses to fight with.
I think this is the one skill that I completely missed. They didn't give him meter projectiles at all, and I think in this video I predicted that he would have like a boomerang projectile where he would throw the sights and the sights would come back, which sounds very powerful, but the downside being he cannot attack while the sights are coming back, so it kind of leaves him vulnerable.
For his tilt skill, let's give him our first blood demon art, Rampant Arc Rampage.
Hang on, I said the name of the move. What is tilt skill actually called? It is called the Blood Sickle Slash. The Rampant Arc Rampage Rampage is actually the guard skill. Okay.
Gyutaro uses this to deflect dozens of kunai, but it could be used as an attack as well. Gyutaro plants his feet on the ground and without moving an inch, he's gonna unleash this flurry. Works a bit like Akaza's Disorder, which just puts up a wall between Akaza and the opponent, but it wouldn't move Gyutaro forward, so you can use it as a combo tool or as a defensive tool to shut down an opponent's approach.
It's interesting. I thought that move would be a little bit more offensive than defensive, but I also remember calling the DP exactly what it is. I really wonder what's coming up next.
And for his guard skill, we're gonna give him a reversal like most characters have, and this one comes out like true despair. This moment when Gyutaro almost gets his head cut by Tanjiro and is able to hold the sword back with his blood demon art while he regains his strength, culminating in an explosion of slashes and blood. It's a great reversal move. It would do in-game exactly what it does in the show. It protects Gyutaro and blows the opponent away at the same time.
Interesting. So they made up a move for tilt skill, and then this move, which is pretty much the same as a rampant arc rampage, they made it the DP. Big bubble, big desperation of slashes, invincible move. I kind of called it here, even though I didn't name the move exactly what it is in the game.
I think both of his demon skills should apply poison, and that's double the number of abilities that a character currently has that applies poison.
Well, both of his demon skills do apply poison. I'm not wrong there. It's just all of his skills also do.
First up, Blood Demon Art, rotating circular slashes, flying blood sights. Gyutaro puts his arms out, and with rotating slashes he cuts and poisons everyone around him. In-game he would remain stationary when doing this, and this would definitely be a combo finisher for him. One that deals heavy damage but also poisons the opponent.
It doesn't really deal that heavy damage, but man, I called it exactly. That is on point. I didn't call the armor. I don't think I mentioned that this would be an armored move. Just say that it's a combo finisher. I think I was thinking of this move more like a collapse from Akaza. Like, yo, if you want to deal some big damage, throw this at the end, but it costs a demon bar. It's not what the move is for, but man, calling the rotating slashes as his demon skill, we take those.
And then we have his tilt demon skill, which is yet another blood demon art, flying blood sickles.
Flying blood sickles? Is that? Yep, flying blood sickles on tilt demon skill. Now, this is a very unique skill. You throw it out, it lingers on stage, and then it follows the opponent. So let's see what type of projectile I predicted this was gonna be.
So this is also a projectile. Gyutaro slashes the air, and those slashes then fly towards the opponent. It's a bigger, more damaging projectile than the previous one we had, and this one comes with a little extra gimmick. If you hit the demon skill button again while the projectile is out on stage, he will do the next step in this special move, which is Bend, flying blood sickles.
Bend is exactly what tilt demon skill is. Now, I said it would be a two-step activation, meaning you would press the button to activate the skill and then press it again to activate the second stage. It doesn't do that, it just activates the second stage automatically after lingering on stage for a little bit. But let's see what that second stage is, because so far, this is very, very close to the final game.
The slashes would stop mid-air and track the opponent once again. Basically, this is a move meant to catch sidesteps.
Bro! The wildest, most unique ability from Gyutaro. And I freaking called it? When I was making these movesets, sometimes I would honestly just go, let me go crazy. It's not like I'm trying to predict the movesets exactly, I'm just trying to imagine some fun characters. And this was the crazy ability. I can't believe they took it and made it Gyutaro's trademark ability in-game. If that ability actually comes from this video, I am so honored, man.
Remember, we already gave him one projectile, and it's a boomerang attack, one that leaves him vulnerable while the weapons are returning to him. So if it's dodged, there's a good chance that you can punish him. So this one would pretty much be immune to dodging, because upon a second activation, it would track you once again. So the opponent has to stay on their toes and recognize which projectile they're trying to avoid, or Gyutaro could simply use it as a regular projectile and not trigger the second stage, not bend it. And of course, if it hits the opponent on any stage, it will poison them.
It's almost 1-for-1. They just made it simpler because you don't activate it twice. It just activates the second stage on its own. But yeah, when I heard that summary, I was like, I called that ability, didn't I? I definitely called that. It's been so long, I didn't remember anymore, but it's so close.
And last but not least, Gyutaro's ultimate. What could it be? We've used all of his blood demon arts and most iconic attacks, so what's left for his ultimate? Well, his very final attack. Once Gyutaro was decapitated by Tengen and Tanjiro, his body did not give up the fight right away, releasing everything it had in a final explosion. He blows up an entire town. His ultimate in the game wouldn't necessarily be Gyutaro getting decapitated, but the scale and the look of this explosion would fit an ultimate attack incredibly well.
I don't think I got that one right at all. Time to humble myself again.
So to summarize, Gyutaro has quick advancing moves with his scythe as normal attack. attacks. His normal moveset is pretty standard outside of his grab that shows his more cocky and playful side.
I got the grab
For skills, we have a boomerang attack, an attack flurry with rampant arc ramp.
Okay, the attack flurry is correct, but that's not the move. And it's actually an advancing move. It's nothing like Akaza's Disorder, which puts up a wall. That's what I predicted. Skill and tilt skill, definitely wrong. I am calling the guard skill a dub, even though Rampant Arc Rampage is not the name that I put there.
And a reversal explosion out of desperation.
Because if you hear that description, that's exactly what he does.
He's demon skills with both poison the enemy on hit, those being a combo finisher with rotating circular slashes, and a projectile that can track opponents' dodges upon a second activation.
It's crazy to me that I called both of these demon skills. Crazy. I know CyberConnect 2 watches this channel, and maybe they even got the idea for Demon Skill and Tilt Demon Skill from this video. I mean, the Tilt Demon Skill is kinda sus. But if that's the case, it is completely fine. Keep in mind that Gyutaro only does a certain number of moves during the show, so it's not like they have a wide range of options to pull from. They're doing the same research that I did for this video, only they're doing it a lot more in-depth and a lot harder because they have to put the character in the game. So maybe they didn't even watch this thing, our brain was just in the same wavelength. But if in fact they did watch it and they took the Tilt Demon Skill from this idea, good job, you took the most interesting part that I came up with. I think the entire community is happy you did that. And that's because Gyutaro is a lot of fun. If you want to know how much fun, check out this video where I played him in ranked matches, and also I'm spinning a wheel of pain every time I lose. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you next time. Bye!